Your Excellencies, Presidents of the Court, judges, dear guests and colleagues, on behalf of civil rights defenders and on my personal behalf, I would like to wish you all very welcome to the 7th Regional Rule of Law Forum for Southeast Europe. I'm very pleased we are starting with the forum despite these extraordinary circumstances, and I want to thank all of you who are joining us here in Baden-Baden, in the hubs across the region, and as well as online. The topic for this year's forum is COVID-19 and rights protected by the European Convention on Human Rights, or better say, implementation of the Convention during the COVID pandemic. In this context, this year's forum is organized under special circumstances that dictate new practices, but also circumstances that open many new questions. This pandemic is a threat to the well-being of individuals and the society unseen in the past several decades. It emphasized the need for reaching a delicate balance in protecting individual human rights and the public health. These extraordinary circumstances have brought extraordinary measures that have curbed enjoyment and protection of human rights. States and societies have resorted to limiting freedom of movement, freedom of assembly, freedom of expression, but also other rights protected under the European Convention. While the reasoning behind these measures is quite understandable, the effects on human rights are yet to be fully determined. However, regardless ever-changing landscape, we are already encountering cases and situations when procedural lawfulness, legitimacy, and proportionality of the measures are being questioned. When applied in practice for more than a few days, and we are witnessing application for a few months already, these measures interfere with the whole range of rights and freedoms guaranteed by the European Convention on Human Rights. These interferences cause and will cause exaggerated hardship in exercise of rights. However, a valid question in the same time is whether states have taken or are taking all steps they could reasonably have expected to take to prevent a harm of which key knew or ought to have known. States have general obligation under European conventions to take adequate measures to protect individuals from spread of the COVID-19 pandemic and from being avoidably infected and suffering its consequences. The acts of states to restrict rights equally as omissions to provide protections from the spread may raise cases of liability of the state, including liability for damages that will have to be dealt by national systems. Now, the complexities arising from pandemic are further compounded by deterioration of democracy and decreasing challenges on the rule of law, which we are witnessing not only in the Western Balkans, but also in the EU member states. Deficiencies related to the capacities needed for a coherent and unbiased implementation of the measures have increased the risk of human rights violations for the purpose of protecting the public from the COVID-19 pandemic. Since the start of pandemic and the introduction of the measures, human rights organizations have been permanently monitoring the situation and have noted that disadvantaged and underrepresented our fellow citizens from the marginalized communities or, let's say, vulnerable groups, like in other crises, have been more severely affected, not only by the pandemic, but also by the measures undertaken to deal with. Obviously, this new reality, a term that we are using almost every day, is really is a key topic for us here in the forum. The lack of experience as well as practice in protecting human rights in such a severe pandemic has understandably opened many questions. But even more so, it has further reinforced the need for cooperation, exchange of experiences and practices in order to ensure the protection of human rights to the highest possible extent, as well as the protection of the public interest, which is in current context, the public health. For this reason, I'm very pleased to welcome all of you in this event, where we will have opportunity to exchange and discuss these challenges, as well as possible ways for overcoming them, which ultimately is one of the main aims of the forum since its establishment in 2014. It brings me personal exceptional pleasure to work today with the President of European Court of Human Rights, the Council of Europe Commissioner for Human Rights, present and former judges of European Court. We also have on board in many hubs today presidents and judges of Supreme and Constitutional Courts from the Western Balkan region, ombudspersons, representative of judicial centers or academies, representative of human rights organizations, human rights experts, and prominent human rights lawyers. We decided to organize the first forum in 2014 as a means to increase knowledge as well as the cooperation between judges, legal professionals, and human rights organizations in the region. By sharing the best practice, we hope that on the long term, we will contribute to the better implementation of human rights standards across the region. We stand by this concept also today in these, again, very extraordinary circumstances and try to improve the quality each year. All of you have aided us a lot, and for that I sincerely thank you. As me and Biljana are often saying, I mean, we are very proud of our partnership between AIRE Center and civil rights defenders. And I'm truly grateful to staff of both organizations for their efforts and many external support that we have during this year. Last, but certainly not least, I would like also to express great appreciation to our partners, the government of Sweden, United Kingdom, and the Netherlands, as well as the Konrad Adenauer Stiftung for acknowledging the value of the forum and extending their support to organize it. And I really hope that they will continue to do so in the coming period. At the very end, allow me to say that when I look at the quality, number, and diversity of speakers and participants, I'm certain that we will have fruitful and productive discussion and a valuable opportunity to reflect on how existing European Court case law may be applied to the new legal questions and factual situations which have appeared in the context of pandemic, to find the keys to overcome the many new challenges. Thank you. Now I would like to give floor to Mr. Hartmut Rank, Head of Rule of Law Program within Konrad Adenauer Stiftung.